Well, what is up, everybody, and welcome back. And yes, you have clicked on a video that does say bringing back Bottas. We are trying to finish this series. Now, the problem with this series, and the reason why I didn't manage to finish it, was because I had some corruption issues with a couple of video files. So I've actually lost two races, the Japan race and the USA race. As you can see here, we finished second in Japan, one place behind Verstappen, and we actually won the USA Grand Prix, and I believe I did take penalties in one of those races. So we have managed to do well in those races, but obviously, like I said, I can't show you them because of the corruption. But I have decided I'm gonna finish this series. I started it, I want to finish it. 4 more races, we'll do the last 4 races. It is a tight battle at the top. Lewis Hamilton and Max Verstappen are separated by 3 points, and we're around 30 points, maybe 33 points behind the leader. So we are well and truly in the fight, but we have to start winning races and hope that maybe Verstappen and Hamilton are dropping back a little bit. 4 races to go. If we win all 4, that's like I think we'll win the title. So just like Hamilton had to do it in real life last season, we're going to have to do it right now. Obviously, Hamilton didn't finish it. He lost it in the last lap in Abu Dhabi in controversial circumstances. But we, as Valtteri Bottas, are going to try and make that difference. And you can see right now, I'm having a look at my engines and I'm thinking, I'm not going to be able to get through the last 4 races with the wear like this. So we're going to make a huge decision here, and we are going to take engine penalties across all our engines. We're going to take a whole brand new engine for each one, and then a brand new gearbox, and that's how we're going to start this race from the back of the grid. And we're going to see if we can work our way up and have a damage limitation, so then the last 3 races we'll have brand new engines.
Here we go then. It's time to race in Mexico City, a place which gave Honda their first ever victory back in 1965. American Richie Ginther won from 3rd on the grid. And what are the Honda-powered cars this year? Well, Red Bull have been going strong here in recent seasons, so can they keep that record going today? Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position. Sergio Perez lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Stroll, Max Verstappen, they've taken a grid penalty, and Giovinazzi, Raikkonen, Norris, Mazepin and Charles Leclerc. They'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Sainz, Fernando Alonso, they've taken a grid penalty. George Russell and Tsunoda. Mick Schumacher, Ocon, Nicholas Latifi and Daniel Ricciardo. Gasly and a Mercedes. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
So as you can see from the grid lineup, it is very jumbled up. I think we had a Haas up in a P9 or something. I think it was Nikita Mazepin, who is our teammate in our other series that we're doing, Restoring Hope for Haas. So be sure to check that out if you guys have not already. But you can see the grid is so jumbled up that it might actually work in our favour starting from P20. With slower cars up ahead, they're going to slow down the cars behind, and that's going to make passes maybe a little bit easy for us, as we have 5 red lights on the grid, and away we go. We are going to get a half decent start. You can see the Williams of Nicholas Latifi, who's also on the medium tyre, has dropped back quite a little bit. And with cars on the soft tyres, they're obviously going to get better traction off the line. But we are going to be careful coming up into turn 1, 2 and 3. We don't want to get that damage onto the car. No front wing damage. We want to keep the car as clean as possible so we can push on and maybe even push for a podium. And I've got to say, a podium in a grid like this would be very good starting from P20, and that is an Aston Martin that has spun onto the grass. I believe that was Sebastian Vettel, so that's another place for us, which is nice and handy. And you kind of feel for him a bit, as I think both Aston Martins were starting P3 and P4 due to the grid penalties that everybody had. Verstappen was down a little bit, but I think Hamilton was starting on pole. So you got to feel for Sebastian Vettel. I think he started P3 in the race, but let's have a look at what we're doing here. We're going to try and go around the outside of the Ferrari and now down the inside of the Spaniard of Carlos Sainz, and we do make the move on. We're up in a P12. Now we're behind another Haas car of Nikita Mazepin, who managed to start higher up the grid due to the grid penalties, and we should make easy work of him. Is a Ferrari going to have a go back at us? No, he is not. So we're up in a P12, and just over a lap, just under a lap being done, and I've got to say it's a fantastic start from us. As we're going to have a look at what happened to Sebastian Vettel. So he actually got a really good start, got ahead of the Red Bulls, and down the inside, he is going to go 3 wide with the 2 Red Bulls, seeing what he can do, trying to stick it, and he's going to go down the inside again. He doesn't want to give it up, and he's going to bang wheels with, I think that might have been Sergio Perez, not too sure, but he bangs wheels with one of the Red Bulls, and he's onto the grass, and all the way down in P20. It's unlikely he's going to get a point scoring position from there, unless he gets lucky with a safety car or something. So that is Sebastian Vettel's race ruined pretty early on. As you can see, we're going to go around the outside of Nikita Mazepin. We're going to try and brake late, but Nikita Mazepin braking late, he's fighting with us. He doesn't get an opportunity to fight with a Mercedes too often, but a Haas car in real life in this new 2022 season does get the chance. You know, Haas and Mercedes, and they're not too far away from each other now, with Kevin Magnussen actually qualifying ahead of George Russell in real life, which was a fantastic from him, and it was actually really fun to watch a Haas in the top 10 fighting for points and eventually getting P5. So very happy to see that in real life. But down the inside, we're going to go of Fernando Alonso, and you can see we're making moves. P10, not even 2 laps into this Grand Prix, so this is an unbelievable start from us. We've got an AlphaTauri and an Alfa Romeo up ahead as we go a bit wide on that curve, but we're going to have a go at the AlphaTauri. We're not going to wait till the main straight. We're going to try and go around the outside. As you can see, Tsunoda, he gets a bit of a wobble, and he ends up spinning by hitting our car. I'm not sure what sort of line that was coming in. He went really tight and just compromised his line and went straight into us. Luckily, we didn't get affected by it, but that certainly was not our fault. We went as wide as we can. We left him plenty of space. But moving on, we're on to lap 3 now, and we're still making overtakes. We're going to have a go at the Alfa Romeo around the outside. Can we get this move done? We're going to go really wide, knowing it's going to be the inside of the next corner. Kimi Räikkönen gives us plenty of room, and we almost squeeze him out a little bit, but it was fair. And we've got the move done into P8, 3 laps in, and now we're pushing on to the other Aston Martin of Lance Stroll, after his teammate got spun out earlier. And later on in the lap, you can see how close we are. We are not wasting time here. We are getting these moves done as soon as possible. Now down this main straight with DRS and DRS. We won't even need DRS. It's such a long straight. And with the Mercedes power unit in our car, obviously the Aston Martin does as well, but the slipstream and DRS is too much for the Aston Martin to handle. And we're going to go down the inside, and we're actually going to get the move done before the braking zone, so we can go back into the racing line. And not even 4 laps in, we're up in a P7. This is an unbelievable start, and this start is giving me more and more confidence into what we can do in this race. And I really do believe we can get a podium if we keep up this pace, because the front 3, Hamilton, Verstappen and Perez, they're going to be battling away all race. They're going to be losing time, while we are just going to be cruising on. Once we get into P4, we're going to have plenty of clear air, and you can see the Alfa Romeo and the Ferrari up ahead. They are battling. They're banging wheels themselves. So these 2 cars are losing me time right now. But you can see the Alfa Romeo comes off second best, and we're going to have more speed down the straight. So this is going to be hopefully P6 if we can get the move done. But Giovinazzi is going to have DRS off the Ferrari in front of Charles Leclerc, who actually won Bahrain in real life in 2022. So glad to see a Ferrari actually being able to compete for race wins. But we're going to go around the outside of Giovinazzi. We're going to have a little look at Leclerc, almost hitting him actually. So late on the brakes, but not too late, where it was going to cause us problems. And we're going to waste no time in having an attack at the Ferrari man as well. We're going to try and go around the outside. Can we get the move done? We got the inside for the next corner. We're going to do exactly what we did to Kimi Räikkönen, to Charles Leclerc, who is a race winner in Bahrain in real life. Speaking of that, I'm really happy about that, because in 2019, obviously, he had that problems when he should have won the race. So I was very happy for him in real life, even though I am rooting for the Brits, Hamilton and Russell, because I am obviously a Brit myself. But got to give him credit in real life. Glad to see Ferrari back up there. But in this season, in our career mode, they are nowhere near the front. It is all between the Red Bulls and the Mercedes, and you can see we have closed in on Lando Norris in the McLaren, who on this game are actually fast. You know, we've gone from cheering about Ferrari, who's finally back in the front, and now we're going to a McLaren, who now are arguably the slowest team on the grid. It's terrible. You know, it's awful to see. I love Lando and I love Daniel, so to see them down at the back is hurt. It does hurt. quite a lot, but it is what it is. That's Formula 1. If you don't get it right, you're going to be at the back, and they are way off the pace in real life. But we are focusing on this race now. We have a chance at Lando Norris. He is a bit too far ahead, but we do have DRS, and we're going to use ERS. Can we get this move done from so far back? We're going to use all our ERS to see if we can have a chance at him. He covers off the inside. We're going to go round the outside, side by side, braking just after the 100-meter mark, and we're going to get the move done. Lando Norris is going to concede, and now we've got clear air. Now we can push on. 8 laps in, we've managed to get past all the people outside of the top 3, Verstappen, Perez and Hamilton. We need to start chasing them, and on lap 10 coming on to lap 11, they are starting to pit from their soft tyres. Obviously it's a two-stop strategy around here. We are going to go to the two-stop as well, and you can see Hamilton has gone onto the mediums, but Verstappen has gone onto the softs. So different strategies from both drivers, and Hamilton is ahead of Verstappen. So if he can hold up Verstappen for a little bit and they start to battle, because Verstappen will obviously be quicker on the soft tyres, that's going to give us more of a chance to catch up as well, because they're going to be losing more and more time now as we come out of the corner and almost end our race. So we need to stop worrying about what they're doing, and we need to start worrying about us. We need to make sure we don't put this car in the wall, because if we put it in the wall, not only is our race over, but our title challenge is also over, because we need to keep winning races. And you can see Fernando Alonso is out of the session, yellow flag up in sector 2, and we're trying to see, is a safety car coming out? And I don't think it is. If a safety car came out at this point, it would actually work really well for us. We'd put on another set of mediums, and then we'd go on the softs at the end of the race. But no safety car came out, thankfully, for Hamilton and Verstappen and Perez up ahead. They did not need one after just pitting a couple laps earlier. On to lap 16 we go, and we are thinking about pit stop, and we do go into the pits. So we're going to come into the pits, and we're going to see where we're going to come out compared to the front 3, or soon to be the front 3, Verstappen, Perez and Hamilton. We're going to go on to a pair of softs so that we can catch them. We're going to go into a soft pair, and then we're going to go on to another pair of softs at the end of the race to obviously get through, because that's the two-stop strategy, you know, 2 stints on the softs and then 1 on the medium, and we come out and we are just coming out ahead of the Ferrari and McLaren. So this couldn't have worked any better for us. We've got clear air, we're going to have no challenge from behind, and we are going to be able to push on now to see if we can catch up to Hamilton up ahead, who also has 1 more stop. And in his final stint, he's going to be on the soft tyres. On our final stint, we're also going to be on the softs. So how much we can gain to him before that will be very, very important. And you can see 4 or 5 laps later, we've almost gained 10 seconds on Hamilton, showing that these softs are really working for us. They're a lot faster than the mediums. These brand new softs, obviously, we're going to get slower and slower as the laps go by. And you can see the tyre wear isn't too bad. But in a couple laps, Hamilton is going to be almost as quick as us per lap. So we have to make use of these, overheating them a bit, I think, which is why we're struggling a tiny bit in the final sector trying to turn. So we're coming down, and Perez has decided to pit. As you can see, Verstappen already pitted onto the medium tyre. So Perez and Verstappen are both going on to the medium tyre until the end of the race. So they both went onto the softs for their second stint, and now onto the mediums for the final stint, whereas Hamilton and I have gone onto the softs, or saving the softs for our final stint. And you can see we've got a yellow flag, the Haas up ahead, just as we've caught up into Hamilton's DRS zone with 10 laps to go. So now we're going to try and make a move on Hamilton just in case a safety car comes out. We're going to see if we can get him down this next straight. We want to be ahead of Hamilton, as we are going to be going in the same pit stop. If a safety car does come out, caution, yellow flag, is it going to come out? And it does come out. A safety car does come out with 10 laps to go, which is, it's not bad for us, because it's actually pretty good for us Mercedes drivers, because Verstappen and Perez both pitted onto the mediums, and we're going to come into the pits and we're going to be right behind them. The only bad part is our teammate is going to be ahead of us, and we're both going to be on the same tyre. We do double stack. I don't think that's going to be an issue. I think we're going to come out well ahead of the people behind, because we are pitting under a safety car, and the Mercedes team do a very good job in the double stack. No time wasted. Sometimes I've had it in this game where they'll take an extra 10-15 seconds because they're not ready, and the game almost glitches in that aspect. So coming out the pitch, you can see no one's even coming around the last corner yet. So P4 is where we're going to start this safety car restart from, and it's going to be very, very important in what we can do, and we have to get past Perez as soon as possible. He is going to try and do the hold-up job like he did in Abu Dhabi to help his teammate get away and help him get more points. You can see it had a bit of gear issue there, thinking they got away, but no, they didn't. So we are ready for the safety car restart behind Lewis Hamilton and Sergio Perez, and away we go. We started in gear 2, which means we didn't get much traction. I don't know why I didn't go up to gear 3, so it's not the best of restarts. And we are in P4. Hamilton is going to have a look at Perez by the looks of it. He's got the slipstream and he is closing in. Perez goes defensive. Gasly we've got to worry about from behind, but he doesn't get close enough. And Hamilton and Perez are going to go side by side. Can our teammate get past Sergio Perez? Which wouldn't be too great for us because he's going to go away. And then Perez has a bit of a moment coming out as he makes contact with Lewis Hamilton. So Lewis Hamilton has got past the Red Bull man, but Perez isn't giving it up that easily. He wants to waste as much time for Hamilton as Pierre Gasly now goes around the outside. So we're getting teamed up on the Red Bulls and the AlphaTauri, who are basically teammates. The AlphaTauri is the sister team of the Red Bulls, but Perez manages to stay ahead of Hamilton on the medium tyres, and all the while Max Verstappen is getting away. You can see him in the distance. He is pulling away. I think he's already 2, maybe 3 seconds ahead of us because of all the battling Perez and Hamilton have done. And we're almost a whole lap in, and Hamilton can't make the move on Perez, but he's going to have done it inside now. Can he get it done? Perez still sticking around the outside. If this doesn't remind you of Abu Dhabi 2021, I do not know what does, because he is doing a fantastic job at holding up Hamilton, and now he is also holding up us in the process, because we want to try and get after Max Verstappen to try and get a 1-2, and we want the race win, as Perez is now going to have another go at Lewis. We're going to see what we can do. We're going to go around the outside to try and get a better racing line. 3 wide coming down into turn 1, and we're going to brake a little earlier to try and get the apex to get the switchback move, as Perez and Hamilton are still going side by side, and now Perez comes up. Oh my goodness me, it was almost race over for Perez and almost race over for us as he almost collects our front wing. We're going to check if we got front wing damage, but luckily we do not. I think it's our wheels that made contact. And we get the move done. Perez did very well to hold us back. 4.5 seconds, almost 5 seconds he's let Verstappen get away. And we only have 5 laps to close that down. So now it is going to be very, very interesting if we can close it down. And 2 laps later, you can see it's already down to 2 seconds. I'm not fighting with my teammate. I'm trying to keep him. I'm trying to make sure he's taking the race in line, because I don't want to challenge him, because if I try and challenge him and go side by side with Hamilton, we're just going to lose more time and we're never going to catch Verstappen. And obviously Max Verstappen is our title rival as well. I think he is currently leading the championship. So it is very important that we do not hold up Hamilton in our quest to catch, and then when we do catch, then we have an attack at both of them, because we do not want to let these guys win the race. We need to win the race. We are far behind in this title challenge. We're about 30 points behind. So we're trying to stay as close as we can. Use the DRS, saving all our ERS for the last couple laps. And now we have 3 more laps to go. I'm losing my voice commentating this. This is as dramatic as you can get. You can't write this. The 3 title protagonists are fighting. We're in 1.5 seconds separates the front three. With 3 laps to go, this is what you want to see. Verstappen on older medium tyres, and Hamilton and Bottas chasing him down on the fresh softs that they pitted under the safety car. And now we're thinking, do we have a go at Hamilton now? We are close enough to Verstappen so that we will stay in range with 2 laps to go, but we are going to sit right behind Hamilton. We're going to wait for him to have a go at Verstappen. And then we're going to see if we can get both of them at once and make it as dramatic as possible, getting past both of them and winning this race from P20 on the grid. Yes, the safety car has helped us dramatically to catch these Red Bulls, but we still have work to do. 2 more laps. We're just following Hamilton around. Hamilton is now within a second. He's within 6/10 of Verstappen. He's going to have a go at him soon. We are just staying with Hamilton. We are buying our time. Perez over 5 seconds behind, so he is not a problem anymore. He is well out the equation. It is between the front 3 with just over 2 laps to go as we're about to go on our 3rd lap. I would know we've spun it. We've had a nightmare. We've had an absolute nightmare, and now Perez is going to go on through. You can see the McLaren almost forces his way through as we enter the track pretty dangerously indeed, and we have dropped down to P5, and our title, our World Championship title chances are fading in front of our very eyes. We have to make it damage limitation now as we get past the McLaren of Lando Norris. We have to get past Sergio Perez. We need as many points as we can get. 15. We will get 15 points if we manage to finish P3. Only 12 in P4. So it is very important we get ahead of Sergio Perez. We have fastest lap, so it would be 16 points. We'll get that extra point, and we have a lap and a half to do so. And on these fresh softs, we should be able to make the move stick, and we're going to line it up for the DRS straight. We're going to see if we can make the move down the straight with DRS and ERS. We should be pretty simple with the traction. We're going to get out this final corner on the softs, and look how close we are. We have to get this move done to keep our championship fight alive. And coming down main straight, we are going to get the move done. We do get it on Perez, and now we're just going to be able to run away with it on these softer tyres. But how big of a moment is that going to be in the title fight? We do only have 3 races to go, and we have just bottled a potential race win here, which would have been so important and so big for us in the World Championship decider. Hamilton is going to come through, and he is going to win the Mexican Grand Prix with Verstappen in P2, and we're going to get across the line in P3. But wow, you know, it's been a few months since I've done this series, but it's the same old me, spinning and bottling races, and we only have 3 more races to go to try and win that World Championship for Valtteri Bottas.
The thin air here in Mexico City makes this event a brutal one for these Formula One cars. But this team have done a fantastic job to make it to the checkered flag and take a well-earned victory. Talk to me, Ants. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
I really feel the track layout combined with the track temperatures we saw today suited their car. These cars come alive when the tyres are just at the right temperature, and the driver did a great job managing that as well. They just look so comfortable out there. It's like anything, it always looks so easy when it all just clicks.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes.
So there you have it, P3 in the race. Lewis Hamilton taking P1 with Max Verstappen P2. That was probably better off for us because Verstappen was obviously 3 points ahead of Hamilton before the race. So if Verstappen would have won, he would have been even further ahead. But yeah, knowing we're 30 points behind, we have to start winning. We have to probably win these last 3 races. 36 points behind Hamilton, 32 points behind Verstappen. So we have to hope for something crazy to happen for us to win this championship. 3 race wins is needed, but we also need Hamilton and Verstappen to fall a little further back in the pecking order in these 3 races. But you can always hope. Look at the standings here. You can see Brazil is up next, then Australia, and then the final race in Abu Dhabi. Well, I hope you guys are happy that I'm going to finish this series, and I hope you guys are having a great day, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.